This is Mike Wallace with another television interview in our gallery of colorful people. In television drama, few names have the prestige of that of our guest. Rod Serling is the only writer to have won 3 Emmy Awards for Requiem for a Heavyweight, Patterns, The Comedian. You've given up on writing anything important for television.
Well, again, this is a semantic thing. Important for television? I don't know. If by important you mean I'm not going to try to delve into current social problems dramatically, you're quite right, I'm not. To 3 writing gremlins named Charles Beaumont, George Clayton Johnson, and Dick Matheson, who do much of the writing on the kooky Twilight Zone. Many thanks, fellas. Come over and we'll carve it up like a turkey. Thank you so much.
And then when Rod Serling came along, I introduced both of them to Rod Serling. I gave Rod a list of people because he didn't know quite what he was doing. I saw Rod Serling one night at a banquet, and after the banquet, I invited him to the house for a nightcap, and he told me that he was going to do a new series, but he didn't know what he was doing. It was going to be fantasy and science fiction, and he was at sea. I said, come down the basement and I'll give you some books by some friends of mine. So I took him down the basement and gave him a copy of a book by Richard Matheson and one by Charles Beaumont.
Well, I began to feel that in Beaumont I had my own personal Ray Bradbury.
Well, Beaumont, it's fascinating. Beaumont was my great discovery when I wrote the Twilight Zone Companion. He was the guy I didn't know about. And when I started discovering him through William F. Nolan and George Clayton Johnson and those who had known him, John Tarmelin and O.C. Rich and so forth, he was an astonishing man. Bradbury referred to him as a pomegranate because he was so full of ideas and so full of the seeds that he scattered every direction. And I think all of us long for the great friend of our life, someone who will push us beyond what we think we're capable of, the kind of guy who will call us at 3 a.m. and say, hop a plane, let's crash Princess Grace's inaugural ball.
That's why you love Charles Beaumont. Beaumont set the whole thing up, and then after he set it up and got you into it, and you had no idea how you were going to get your asses out of it, was when it got wonderful.
Beaumont was our hero. We all looked up to him. He was our natural leader. If Bradbury was my hero, my hero or something like that, my mentor, Beaumont was my leader.
We got together, and that was when I first met him. We met over in Old Town in Chicago, and he came in from California, and we got together and we had a terrific dinner. We just hit it off instantly. It was as if we were separated at birth. We would finish each other's sentences, and I liked him and he liked me. And I will be in this interview, and you can use this comment or not as you choose. I will be semi-circumspect about certain aspects of writers away from home goings on, because the kids are still around and so on. And it ain't my story to tell.
Yes, the devil himself. What you saw in the cell is Satan.
One of Charles Beaumont's great metaphors is the howling man, and that is a really pretty stark metaphor. It's a really sharply defined metaphor about the animal nature in human beings. I mean, we are all animals. We're primates, and the only way that civilization remains intact is that we keep the howling man locked up in the basement. You know, and right now in the Middle East, the howling man is out of the basement.
Here comes the nigga Lebanon. There's the Palestine Indian.
Only a coward would hit a defenseless boy.
Is that what you're calling me, Patton?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm calling you. You're a miserable yellow coward, Mr. Shipman.
I wanted to do The Intruder because I believed in the subject matter, which was the racial integration of schools and, in a broader sense, simply equal rights. So I financed the screenplay myself, took the script to American International, Allied Artists, and they all turned me down. I'd never been turned down in my life. After we finished the film, Charlie and I continued to see each other. We'd meet and talk. But he started to change. And nobody realized that he was going through a process of a disease. He just got what we thought was drunk, and it wasn't, it was the disease.
He would become very forgetful. And this was a man that's in his early 30s. He's at the top of his game. He's writing for, one of the top writers for Playboy. He's in a lot of the top magazine markets. He's writing for some of the top television shows of his day, the top writer for Twilight Zone. He's becoming a big film writer. He's had a successful novel in The Intruder. And suddenly, this is a guy who's very intelligent, has a great sense of wit, a great sense of humor. And suddenly, this is a guy that walks into a room and says, wait a minute. And he has to stop and look and think, where am I and why am I here? And this is a situation that never gets any better. It only gets worse.
They didn't know I don't think they knew for years. How would you diagnose? They had no diagnosis at the time. I mean, Alzheimer's is something that's supposed to happen to very old people.
He was incredible. He was like a comet. To me, I think of Charles Beaumont as a comet burning through the heavens and then extinguishing itself. But boy, what a ride when it was up there.
The answer to Chuck Beaumont is he had enthusiasm.
Beaumont was our
So we shared a lot. He was an amazing person. I've never met anybody like Chuck. So we shared a lot. He was an amazing person. I've never met anybody like Chuck Beaumont.